Hello there. Welcome to Sylvia's Essentials, makeup tips for the blind. Hope I am centered on my camera. Hope you're all doing good out there. And I am back to do another cooking video, this time making a meatloaf, homemade meatloaf. And this is a way that I've made a meatloaf for a long time. And it has basic ingredients and maybe some ingredients that you may want to try at home. All right, but this is just a basic meatloaf, a little bit of Italian, maybe you could say, but I don't use tomato sauce. I just let the meatloaf bake in its juices, and then I just let it bake. I don't use tomato sauce. I have done it that way and it is good. I was just letting you know I'm not doing it in this particular video. All right, so if you like this video, if you get something out of it, please smash that like button, share, and subscribe. And really appreciate my subscribers out there, just to let you know. All right, so I already did some preparing already. I already did chopping, so that stuff is in the refrigerator until I'm ready to put it in the meatloaf. But I will, on this video, show you me preparing it. All right, so it won't be too long of a video, and hope you get something out of it. Okay, out there? Appreciate you viewing in. So, as usual, I'm going to adjust my camera. All right, thank you. So I gotta feel where it is, and I'm gonna adjust it towards the stove so you can see what I'm doing out there. If you're low vision, if you're blind, visually impaired, just listen along. All right. All right, let me adjust this. Now I do have my oven preheated already as well. All right, that should be good. Yeah, that should be good. I don't know how much out there that you can see, but that should be good. All right, so right here I have my baking dish all ready to go. Like I said, the oven's preheated to 350 degrees. That's the temperature that I use. I have tin foil here, or aluminum foil, to cover it after I prepare it. And then I have just regular wheat bread here that I'm going to use for breadcrumbs, because that's what I use. And 1 egg, and I'm going to use some water. So what I do is I'm going to do it right here in my pan, preparing this. That way everything's in here. But like I said, I already did the chopping, but I will get that out now of the refrigerator. Hold on out there. Oh, wow. Okay. I was trying to pull it out where I had it, and it seems like some of it fell off, but that's okay. Majority of it's here. All right, so this is my plate of stuff that I already chopped up. I have on here some white onion that I'm gonna put in my meatloaf. I have a little bit of fresh basil. I have some fresh garlic I have chopped here. And I have some celery. Okay, so that's what's gonna go in this meatloaf. So I'm gonna set that there for a minute. And then of course, I'm using 1 pound of ground beef, a little bit more lean than fat. It's not super lean, no, because I don't mind having a little bit of fat All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw my seasonings in here with clean hands, by the way. You know, that's a motto of mine on my channel. My hands have been washed before I started, so I'm using my hands to scoop it out. Okay. All right, I'm gonna put this in the sink behind me. Okay, next thing I'm gonna put in here is 1 egg. Let me find my egg. Should be here. Hold on 1 second. Thought I had a runaway egg there for a minute. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this 1 egg, doesn't matter if it's a large or medium egg, preferably a large egg for 1 pound of meat, and I'm gonna crack it on the side of this pan. Real quick, open up both shell and let everything in there. That comes with practice. All right, let me throw this away. Rinse my hand off. Wash my hand off. This John dish soap. Like I said, with my Dawn dish soap. You didn't hear me there over the sound of the sink. And then in here, before I put my meat in, I'm going to use 2 slices of just regular wheat bread. I don't use breadcrumbs. I just use the bread for my breadcrumbs. I'm going to set that on the side of the pan while I put my bread away. Put it back in the refrigerator. And what I'm going to do with this breadcrumbs is I'm going to break it up. I got my bread leaning on the side of the pan so it doesn't get into the egg that's already in here. And I'm breaking it up into little pieces. Just pinching off little small pieces of the bread. The crust as well. But like I said, this is how I do it. So I know a lot of people use actual breadcrumbs. I just use breadcrumbs from my bread. Okay, that's one. Now I'm going to break the other one down. Just little pieces like that. And you can use white bread, of course. Rye bread, I don't know. I've never tried rye bread in my meatloaf. Just white or wheat. I think I tried sourdough once. And it wasn't for me as far as, but I mean, it really doesn't matter. The bread just pretty much keeps your meat together. All right, and now I'm gonna throw in my 1 pound of meat before I season it, because I'm gonna season this as well. Okay. And I thawed this meat in the microwave. You know how it is when you thaw meat out in the microwave. Sometimes the texture of it comes out kind of, I don't know, interesting. All right, I'm gonna throw this away. Okay. And let me wash my hand again, get the meat juice off. Excuse me. dish towel. Okay, now got my meat in here, 1 pound of ground beef. Now, even though I got fresh garlic and onion in here, I'm still gonna use some garlic powder, and I'm gonna use, that was my talking clock in the background. I'm gonna use garlic and onion powder seasoning. Okay. Shake some in there. And this is just to add more flavor. And this is organic seasoning, by the way, the garlic powder and the onion powder that I was using, if you're just curious. Black pepper. Just making sure I'm staying in my pan because I don't want seasoning everywhere. Just enough, you know, that you feel that you'll need for seasoning of black pepper. And then a lot of you out there know that I use pink Himalayan salt, which is my salt of choice that I prefer because it's a healthier salt. It's got a lot of benefits to it, cooking and doing other things with it as well, bathing and stuff like that, if you're into that. Okay, and for this meat, I'm gonna pinch about 4 pinches, not really big pinches, about 4 pinches of salt, because you want it to have flavor. And then the last thing I'm gonna add to this masterpiece is a little bit of water. So I'm just gonna put my finger from my other hand inside my dish, and I'm just gonna pour how much water I think I need. I don't want too much, because this is gonna help mold everything together. All right, and now I'm gonna go in there with my hands, clean hands, and I'm gonna start squishing it around inside the pan. Try to keep everything inside your pan. Like I said, it's good to do it this way because that way everything is in one pan as you go. And then once you pinch that together, like so, just get everything mixed together. Your onions, your fresh garlic, a little bit of fresh basil, and I have a little bit of celery in here too. After I pinch that together, then I'm going to form it into a loaf shape. And then you want to like turn it around while you're pinching it in your hands. Turn it, because we want to make sure all the seasonings and everything is mixed together. And this, like I said, this gives your meat moisture, so you don't want to use too much water and you don't want to use too little, if that makes any sense. But I would feel with your finger when you're pouring your water in, just to make sure it's not too much. So if it feels a little too firm, then you know just to add a little more cool water. Not hot water, cool water, okay? All right, so I got this mixed together. Turning it, mixing it. All right, now I'm gonna form this into a loaf shape. I'm just taking my hand, making sure everything's together. just form it into a loaf. Like a loaf of bread. But instead, scrumptious meat. Okay. And if you can afford it, of course, because food prices aren't getting any cheaper, we all know. I would try to get a ground beef that has a little more lean in it than fat. It doesn't have to be super lean, but just a little more lean. But whatever you can afford, and when it's on sale, because it always goes on sale from time to time. Okay? Just a little more less fat of the meat. Okay, I'm gonna go wash my hands and I will be right back. Okay, with warm water, drawing dish. Be right back. Dry my hands with paper towels. Okay. All right. That thrown away. All right. Now, before we put this in the oven, like I said, I have my aluminum foil here, and I'm gonna make sure you have, well, if you have a loaf pan, that's wonderful. I don't have a loaf pan, to be honest with you. You don't have to have a loaf pan. I'm just doing this in a glass, big enough dish. And then just make sure you measure your aluminum foil a little longer than your pan. And you want to cover this. Not too tight, cover it, just cover it on both sides, you know, not too tight, but enough where it's gonna stay on. And I'm gonna bake this in the oven for 50 minutes, okay? So if you got a timer out there or Alexa, just time it for 50 minutes, all right, on 350 degrees. All right, so that's how I do it. So from here, all I gotta do is put it in the oven, and voila, enjoy. And then of course let it cool for 10 minutes, so you know you don't burn your hands. If you need to use your hands to serve it, and you know you're going to do horizontal slices of it, starting from the front of it, the size, amount, wideness of the meat that you want. So that's how I make my basic meatloaf. For you meatloaf lovers out there, I love meatloaf. I've always loved meatloaf. It's always been one of my favorite meals. All right, so I'm going to adjust my camera. Hold on a second. And I'm gonna adjust it by holding it, okay? So anyways, thank you for joining me for this video, how I make a meatloaf. And till I see you next time, you take care out there. Like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Okay, God bless. Thanks.